Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day to dive deep into the dramatic waters of Port Charles. We have an incredibly expansive and detailed preview of what is coming your way over the next 2 weeks. The explosive episodes slated for June 1 through June 12 are guaranteed to keep you on the edge of your seat. Let us jump straight into the heart-pounding drama unfolding in our favorite city. The upcoming 2 weeks of General Hospital promise an unprecedented level of suspense, emotional turmoil, and shocking revelations as multiple storylines converge in spectacular fashion. The intricate web of alliances and betrayals begins to tighten around Nina. Nina will make a highly anticipated and secretive visit to Turning Woods. Her primary objective is to solidify a dangerous and fragile alliance with the enigmatic Brennan. The stakes are incredibly high because Nina recently missed administering his next dose of paralytic medication. This missed dosage creates a volatile situation. Brennan's physical state and his mental acuity are wild cards that Nina must manage with extreme caution. She is desperately hoping that her visit will smooth over any perceived betrayals and keep Brennan firmly in her corner, but the tension at Turning Woods is palpable. Nina's motivations are deeply rooted in her desperate need for control and security. But navigating a man like Brennan requires a level of ruthless calculation that may push her to her absolute limits. Meanwhile, the prodigal son Lucas is stepping far outside his usual comfort zone and directly into the treacherous world of Port Charles's organized crime and high-stakes espionage. Lucas is actively forming his own covert alliance with the formidable duo of Sonny and Mayor Laura. This trio is an unexpected powerhouse, combining mob resources, political clout, and Lucas's unique medical and personal connections. However, this dangerous game will quickly backfire, plunging Lucas into a terrifyingly perilous situation. The burden of his involvement weighs heavily on his conscience, and Lucas will soon be consumed by a crippling anxiety that he has spoken entirely too much. He fears that his loose lips have inadvertently set off a chain reaction of catastrophic events. Lucas's growing paranoia is directly tied to the imminent and shocking developments surrounding the terrifying Sidwell. In a moment of panic or calculated misdirection, Lucas might reveal a crucial piece of information that leads Sidwell to strongly suspect that Pascal is the man responsible for the brutal murder of Marco Rios. The tension in this storyline is thick enough to cut with a knife, especially because the loyal General Hospital audience is already acutely aware of the dark truth. It was the cold-blooded Cullum who actually took down Marco. Lucas is now trapped in a moral and physical labyrinth. His words have the power to condemn an innocent man to Sidwell's lethal brand of justice, while the true killer walks free. The gothic and isolated setting of Windermere will serve as the backdrop for this chaotic and deadly misunderstanding, amplifying the sense of inescapable doom. On the other side of town, a deeply unsettling psychological game is being orchestrated by Michael. In a move that feels entirely out of character, yet chillingly calculated, Michael will actively deceive his wife, Willow Kane. He is meticulously baiting her, laying the groundwork to trick her into an orchestrated affair plot involving her former love, Chase. The psychological underpinnings of Michael's actions are complex and disturbing, hinting at a deep-seated insecurity or a convoluted master plan that has yet to be fully revealed. Willow, possessing a pure heart and a trusting nature, is completely oblivious to the manipulative web her husband is spinning around her. This manipulation leads directly to a highly charged and incredibly awkward encounter. Willow will find herself unexpectedly crossing paths with Chase, under circumstances that are bound to cause her heart to race. Chase will be fresh out of the lake from a vigorous swim, entirely shirtless and glistening in the summer sun. The visual impact of this moment, combined with their shared romantic history, will cause Willow to panic. The lingering sparks and the undeniable physical chemistry between them will rise to the surface, precisely as Michael seemingly intended. However, this intimate and flustered moment will not go unnoticed by the sharp eyes of Port Charles's most formidable matriarch. Tracy, ever the vigilant protector of her family's legacy and the well-being of her granddaughter Brooklyn, will be secretly monitoring the evolving dynamic between Chase and Willow. From her hidden vantage point, Tracy will witness the undeniable tension of their upcoming scenes. True to her fiercely protective and confrontational nature, Tracy will not hesitate to unleash her signature wrath. She will aggressively call Chase out for allowing himself to get entirely too close to his ex-girlfriend. Tracy's intervention will spark a fiery confrontation as she demands that Chase respect his current relationship with Brooklyn and distance himself from the complicated mess that is Willow and Michael's marriage. Amidst this romantic chaos, Nina finds her maternal instincts warring with her strategic alliances. Despite her complex machinations at Turning Woods, Nina will remain fiercely loyal to Willow. Her desperation to connect with her biological daughter will drive her to attempt to reach out to Willow by any means necessary. However, Nina's protective radar will be blaring. She will become deeply concerned about the increasingly close proximity between Willow and Chase. Nina knows all too well the destructive power of unresolved feelings, and she fears that Willow is walking into a trap that could shatter her life. Nina's attempts to intervene, however well-intentioned, are likely to cause further friction in her already strained relationship with her daughter. The stakes reach a fever pitch when we turn our attention to the terrifying hostage situation involving Jocelyn Jacks. Held captive by the sinister Cassius who has been masquerading as Nathan, Jocelyn is refusing to be a passive victim. Channeling the fierce survival instincts inherited from her mother, Carly, Jocelyn is actively plotting a daring new strategy. Cassius, meanwhile, will receive an incredibly tempting offer that could alter the course of his wicked plans. But Jocelyn's focus is entirely on escape and survival. She has discovered the makeshift weapons brilliantly left behind by the legendary super spy Anna Devane. Armed with these hidden tools, Jocelyn is preparing for a deadly confrontation. The tension is unbearable as viewers wonder if Jocelyn can successfully use her feminine wiles to seduce and distract Cassius just long enough to get close to him. Her ultimate goal is clear. She intends to plunge a weapon into her captor and fight her way to freedom. As Jocelyn fights for her life, Mayor Laura will secure a significant, yet entirely separate victory elsewhere in the city, proving that the fight for justice in Port Charles is a multi-front war. But the quest for truth is far from over. The fierce and uncompromising Liesl Obrecht is on the warpath. Driven by a desperate need to find her daughter Britt and the young Rocco, Liesl will corner someone with a terrifying warning. It is highly probable that her target is the fake Nathan. Liesl's maternal instincts are screaming that she is not being told the entire truth. She senses the gaping holes in the narrative and will ruthlessly press Cassius to spill the secrets he is harboring. The search for Britt and Rocco is intensifying by the minute, and Liesl will not rest until she has answers. In the darker corners of Port Charles, Ethan is finding himself entangled in a dangerous web of secrets and blackmail. Ethan will be confronted with a stern and uncompromising warning, and all signs point to the formidable Alexis Davis being the one to deliver it. Alexis has recently uncovered the shocking truth that Ethan has a direct and potentially damaging connection to the mysterious Delilah. Alexis's primary motivation is the protection of her family, specifically ensuring that nothing derails Brooklyn and Chase's heartfelt journey to adopt the sweet little girl, Phoebe. The question of Phoebe's paternity hangs heavy in the air, but Ethan, whether he is the biological father or not, will make a firm declaration. He will adamantly assure Alexis that he has no intention of interfering with the adoption process. He wants Brooklyn and Chase to raise Phoebe in peace. However, peace is a rare commodity when Ava is involved. Ava, with her predatory instincts sharper than ever, will catch wind of the secret connection between Ethan and Delilah. Recognizing a golden opportunity for leverage, Ava is fully prepared to exploit this vulnerability. She will corner Ethan, initiating a ruthless blackmail scheme. Ava is ready to use the Delilah secret to force Ethan into doing her bidding, proving once again that she is a master manipulator who thrives on the weaknesses of others. Meanwhile, Alexis will experience a rare moment of joy, as she has some genuinely good news to share. In her ongoing effort to protect the adoption, Alexis will make a calculated decision to withhold the explosive information regarding Ethan's potential paternity. She will expertly feign ignorance, pretending that there is absolutely no unusual or disruptive information regarding any of Phoebe's relatives. Alexis is willing to carry the burden of this secret to ensure that Brooklyn and Chase can build their family without the shadow of Ethan looming over them. The ABC soap opera is preparing to deliver incredibly poignant and revealing scenes as the duo navigates their life on the run. Rocco, growing older and more inquisitive, will begin to ask profound questions about his origins. He will specifically bring up his desire to know more about the time when Britt raised him shortly after he was born. This is a deeply emotional subject, referencing the complicated history when Britt stole Lulu and Dante's embryo. Britt, touched by his curiosity and seeking to bond with the boy she once considered her own, will likely honor his request. She will open up and share heartfelt stories about those early days, cementing a profound and unbreakable bond between them amidst the chaos of their flight. However, their touching moments are overshadowed by impending doom. Sonny has dispatched his most trusted and technologically advanced enforcer, Brick, to track down Britt and Rocco. Sonny is operating with absolute confidence, fully believing that Brick's unparalleled skills will yield answers imminently. But Brick is not the only one on the hunt. The lethal and remorseless Ross Cullum is also desperately searching for the runaways. The collision of these forces creates a scenario fraught with extreme peril. If Cullum manages to locate Britt and Rocco before Brick does, the consequences could be fatal. The audience will be holding their breath as this high-stakes game of cat and mouse reaches its climax. Back at the dark and foreboding Windermere estate, the situation is rapidly deteriorating into absolute chaos. Sidwell's paranoia has reached a boiling point. He is now entirely convinced that Pascal murdered Marco Rios in a fit of jealous rage. The tension is suffocating as Sidwell prepares to enact his brutal form of vengeance. Lucas Jones is standing at the epicenter of this deadly misunderstanding. The burning question remains, will Lucas find the courage to intervene and expose Ross Cullum as the true culprit, or will he remain paralyzed by fear, allowing Sidwell to execute an innocent Pascal? The tragedy of the situation is that Lucas may not even be granted the luxury of a choice. If Sidwell decides that Lucas is a liability, he might ruthlessly eliminate the doctor before Lucas can even utter a word of explanation. The climax at Windermere promises to be a bloodbath of epic proportions. Is Pascal's time truly up? Will he be able to use his final breath to point the finger of blame directly at Cullum? The spoilers for the next 2 weeks of General Hospital guarantee a relentless barrage of fierce confrontations, heartbreaking emotional revelations, and terrifying ultimatums. The landscape of Port Charles is about to be violently reshaped, and fans absolutely cannot afford to miss a single second of the heart-stopping drama that awaits.